In the hushed stillness of early morning, the world outside slumbered under a soft haze of dawn. Inside a warm apartment imbued with tenderness and light, Dylan stood in the doorway, pausing to take it all in. The air was thick with the quiet scent of lavender from the diffuser and the sweet, earthy aroma of baby powder. The soft coos of infant breathing came from a small crib in the corner of the bedroom. For months, this moment had felt like the summit of a mountain he'd been climbing blindfolded, this fragile hush of new life, this joyous pivot into parenthood. Dylan took a slow, steadying breath. He had a plan. He had spent the past week quietly planning the surprise that would render Shen Yue breathless, surrounded by love, nourishment, and comfort. And now, in this delicate first dawn after giving birth, he was ready. Clad in chef's whites he had ordered specially, tailored, crisp, and to his surprise, oddly comforting, he moved toward the kitchen. The linoleum floor felt familiar under his feet. The tiny kitchen table, scattered with framed photos, held a notebook filled with scrawled shopping lists, prep notes, and a roughly drawn sketch of what would become their breakfast vignette. Narrator, voiceover. There's something sacred about a kitchen in the early hours. It breathes with promise. It hums with life. Here, Dylan felt closest to the world he tended to outside these walls, stories and scripts and camera lights. But here in this kitchen, it was just the hum of the refrigerator and the bubbling promise of something heartfelt and homegrown. He flipped on the light above the sink. The stainless steel glinted. He moved with purpose, selecting wooden cutting boards, sharpening knives, clearing donated surfaces until everything gleamed. He wanted this to be perfect for her. He laid out fresh ingredients. Ruby tomatoes, fragrant basil, silky avocados, ripe strawberries, honeyed granola from that favorite artisanal brand, eggs from the local farmer's cook they loved. He arranged it all like an artist, mindful of color, of texture, of nourishment. He filled bowls with Greek yogurt, set pitchers of warm water with lemon slices, and brewed a pot of tea to soothe her postpartum soul. Narrator, voiceover. He had seen the exhaustion etched into her face in the days leading up to now. The deep sleep that always follows the birth of a child is not just theirs, it's his too. But he would not let the exhaustion define this moment. He would fill it with sweetness. He would fill it with intention. He would show her that she was seen, she was loved, she was the center of this universe he was building at her side. He whisked eggs and fresh herbs into an omelette, folding its edges tenderly as though embracing a newborn. He threaded strawberries onto skewers with mint leaves between each plum fruit, so it looked like a garland of summer. He dotted plates with avocado slices, sprinkled them with sea salt, a drizzle of olive oil, and crushed pepper. He placed honey granola beside thick, achingly creamy Greek yogurt. He topped it with raspberries and thin shavings of dark chocolate, because he knew how she liked that decadent finish. He carried everything to the table with gentle hands. He lit a single ivory candle, a declaration of calm light in the riot of newborn demands. He set a delicate vase with a fresh garden-cut flower, a single pink peony from the florist they'd visited after the birth. He paused, adjusting the petals so the bloom faced outward, embodying hope. And then he placed a small, handwritten card beside the place at the table meant for her. He forced himself to resist opening and reading it right away. He stepped back and looked at the spread. It looked radiant. Narrator, voiceover. How beautifully ordinary it was. Yet how unmistakably extraordinary. In just a few hours, a new soul would join their story. But for now, this breakfast was their embrace before the tidal wave of baby schedules, grief, love, and sheer delight that awaited them. He went to the living room door and knocked. Softly, at first. Then a little louder. He called her name, Yue. Footsteps approached, slow, a little wobbling from weeks of pregnancy hormones. She appeared, still in a pastel robe, her hair gently mossed from sleep. She looked at him, then at the table, and a single tear escaped her eyes. It rolled down her cheek like liquid gratitude. She whispered, "Oh, Dylan." He hugged her. She leaned into him with all the exhaustion of a newborn mother and the relief of finally surrendering to this moment of recognition. She inhaled the scent of fresh food, candor, new beginnings. He guided her to sit. She sank into the chair, side hugging her baby bump one final time before the little one's birth. He held her hand. She took in the spread, a feast designed with her in mind. He told her, softly, "You don't have to cook today, you. Not ever again, if you don't want to." She smiled through tears. The gratitude radiated from her. It glowed. In that gesture, cooking for the one who had carried and birthed their child, it wasn't just food he stewed. He simmered devotion. He seasoned it with admiration. He folded it all into one simple breakfast. And it was enough. She lifted a fork, took a bite of the omelette, then closed her eyes, savoring every tender herb, every melt of cheese. She picked up a strawberry skewer and bit, it burst sweet. She drank the warm tea. She exhaled. She looked at him and said, "Thank you." But he shook his head. "Thank you is too small," he said. "You did this. You brought our child to us. You are more than enough." She leaned in, kissed him gently on the lips. Her hand rested on his cheek. They shared a look loaded with everything: joy, exhaustion, love, unspoken promise. As the morning light stretched its fingers through the slatted blinds, the world shifted. A new family was beginning. And this breakfast, this simple, loving gesture, was its prologue. He took the little card from the table and read it aloud. "You. In you, I found courage I didn't know I had. In this moment, I want you to rest, to heal, to smile. Let me nourish you today, tomorrow, and every day. All my love, Dylan." She reached for his hand. Her voice cracked, "I love you so much." He squeezed her hand in return, and together they watched that candle flame flicker, fragile, yet determined, just like their newborn baby, soon to join them. It was fragile love, fierce hope, and forever. She reached for the tea. He offered her the teapot. They ate together, sharing bites, passing plates, feeding each other taste of this life they'd created. No cameras, no lights. Just the quiet symphony of love, the hushed exchanges of care, and the echo of a future full of small, perfect moments. And that, dear viewer, is the story of a simple morning transformed into a memory. A kitchen becomes a sanctuary. A husband becomes a chef of devotion. A family begins its first sunrise together. If Dylan Wang's sweet kitchen surprise warmed your heart, give this video a thumbs up, share it with someone who appreciates the beauty in everyday acts of love, and, if you haven't already, hit subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss a moment like this, where life's small gestures